about to go live, Taylor?
Yep.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's episode of The Extra Point. I'm your host, Gabby Bates, and joining me tonight will be Anderson and Nick. We have a great show planned for you today, starting out with the outcome of the 2015 Masters. Next, we'll discuss the NBA and what's your stake for the final day of the playoffs. Well, let's get started with some breaking news. Today in the NFL, New England Patriots Aaron Hernandez was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison for a deadly late-night shooting. 25-year-old Hernandez had a $40 million contract with the Patriots and had a pretty good-looking future in front of him. Any thoughts on the incident, guys?
Thank you, Gabby. I don't think there's really that much to say about it. It's unfortunate that such a talented player still had to keep a life like that. Well, he didn't need to, obviously, but he was stupid enough to make those decisions. And I mean, I wasn't there, but that's what he was convicted for, and that's what he was tried for, and they found him guilty of it. And the punishment for a first-degree murder is life in prison, and Hernandez isn't getting any breathing room on that because he's a celebrity.
Life is a long time.
It is.
That's a long time. There's no escaping that, yeah. It's very unfortunate, like you said, to see such a huge talent go to waste. Literally go to waste.
Exactly.
But he'll be playing with Paul Crewe and the Mean Machine.
That's a movie reference.
Yeah, that's a movie reference.
Look it up, kids.
Yeah. But yeah, huge waste. Very disappointing to see. I remember exactly where I was when that was breaking news. 3 or 4 years back now, last couple summers ago. So thankfully, it's all over with now. I mean, not thankfully that Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Hernandez is.
Rodgers is somewhere with Olivia Munn.
Yeah.
They're all good. They're hanging out at the pool.
Yeah. No matter what Aaron it is, it's a shame, and hopefully not many of those things come up again. I mean, obviously they will. Ray Lewis was convicted, thought he did, accused.
Is convicted when you're
accused.
actually like...
Convicted is what Aaron Hernandez just did.
Okay.
He was convicted.
Very smart.
Ray Lewis was accused. Greg Hardy, Adrian Peterson, they didn't kill anybody, but, just some of the off-the-field violent incidents that some NFL players get into. It's a real shame that they're doing that. So,
yeah, that's all I have to say there.
All right, guys, we'll move on. As many of you watched, 21-year-old Jordan Spieth won the 2015 Masters. Spieth took home golf's green jacket with a 72-hole score of 18 under 270 that matched Tiger Woods' score in 1997. Spieth led the tournament the whole time, breaking the 36-hole and 54-hole tournament records. It seemed as if no one could keep up with Spieth. He led the tournament the whole entire time. Guys, what did you think about Spieth's performance compared to the other golfers in this year's Masters?
Well, I thought it was remarkable. I thought Spieth played just absolutely phenomenal over the course of the weekend, and he just put everybody else away. There was no chance, really, and unfortunately, I found the tournament to be a little boring because of that. There was no excitement. I mean, Spieth got up early, and then there was no looking back. I mean, Even on the last day, there was nobody that could, unless somebody had a tremendous round. Phil Mickelson, I think, did he finish in second overall?
No, Justin Rose.
Phil Mickelson finished second, and he was minus 14.
Minus 14. He was the
Rose
closest.
finished third.
And Rose was
He was
right
the closest after day 3, but Spieth just put everybody away.
I mean, after the Thursday round, or watching the Thursday round, it was really awesome seeing Spieth. It was just like, oh yeah, he's doing well. Tiger slipped that first day, and it was kind of bad to see. Then that second day came along. Tiger made a good push. Rory made a good push. But Spieth made another great push, and I was like, all right, this Spieth guy's fun. He's fun to watch. Saturday came along. I was like, all right, Spieth. Hopefully he can come down a little bit, give Tiger, Rory, Phil a little bit chance to catch up, and Spieth didn't do that. I mean, and then Sunday came along. I was like, hopefully Spieth tanks. I can't believe I was praying for somebody to tank. I was really wanting him to tank. I just really wanted to get exciting, and you really hit the nail on the head. The Masters is always exciting, but this was like a boring excitement. It was awesome seeing what Spieth did because Spieth played out of his mind, but it was boring in the fact that he just wasn't going to let anybody have it. It was exciting how well he played, but it was boring because he knew in his mind, and we all knew, that Spieth wasn't going to let it go as soon as he teed off and hit those first two birdies, had those first two birdies in the first 3 holes on Sunday. So great job by Spieth. Great Masters overall. I mean, very low scoring. Mester's always generally kind of lower scoring.
We saw Dustin Johnson with the Eagles.
It was good to see
I had him
Dustin
as my
Johnson in
dark
his comeback.
horse.
He was your dark horse pick, and
Yeah,
he
I
ended
had
up
Dustin Johnson as my
playing
dark
very well.
horse, and then we saw him with the Eagles. He broke the record for Eagles. He stepped it up, and then we had McElroy stepping up. We just saw a lot of the players like just picking it up, stepping up. Tiger, with that wrist injury.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of confused.
The level of play overall seemed to be very high, and I was actually very pleased with Tiger's performance.
I was very pleased
as a person that is rooting for Tiger to come back. He finished 6 under,
Yeah,
5 under, 6 under,
5 under.
somewhere in that
Tiger
range.
was 5 under.
Going into the third or fourth day, he was tied for 5th, and he was looking good. I was worried that he was just gonna, typical Tiger form the last 2 years, just fold completely, but
and drop out.
He stayed strong the entire time. Definitely made the cut, and it was good to see.
Definitely made the cut. I mean, he did. But the one thing that I liked from Tiger's performance is not really how he finished, but his Friday round. And I think he finished +1 or even on Friday. I think he was.
Yeah, that was his worst round.
Yeah, that was he didn't do very well on Friday. But the thing that I loved watching, I watched like 16 out of the 18 holes. I didn't watch the last 2 holes, but every time he had a bad shot, and there was like 4 or 5 tee shots in a row where and on his follow through, he just let go of the club because it's just an awful shot, and it was just like I said, it was an awful shot. But the very next shot was an amazing shot. One of the big questions coming into this weekend is Tiger going to get his short game back because he didn't have it at the beginning of this year. Well, he had it back. I mean, there were some chips, and that they were phenomenal considering the fact how bad his approach shot was. So seeing him do that and seeing him get his short game back, I think Tiger's going to have a pretty decent year. He might not win a lot, but he's going to be in contention for a lot of tournaments this year.
I agree. I don't think he's going to get a major this year, but I do think he could win some other tournaments, and that's very exciting to see him come back.
Definitely.
As for the #1 player in the world, Rory McIlroy, he started off pretty shaky. I wasn't very impressed with his performance through the first couple days, but he had one of, if not the best performances on the last day.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it was too late. He finished under 9. Somewhere in the top 10, I think, was his final position.
We actually might see him win the Heritage this coming weekend.
Rory finished 4th. He was -6 on Sunday alone.
On Sunday, yeah. So I mean, -6, and he went -9 overall. So I mean, he had a great last day. And Phil Mickelson, one of the greatest of all time, he played a phenomenal tournament as well. Mm-hmm. He was really the only person the last couple days given Spieth fits. And I was glad to see that he was hanging around. He was my dark horse pick, and was that close. That might have been why I was rooting for Spieth to tank a little bit, so that my pick would be right.
Rory was a very good pick for you. He like I said, he finished 4th. He was actually -12.
He was?
Yeah, he's 12 under. I lose track of the scores just as much as you do. But he played well. That was the one thing. I mean, Tiger's first day was awesome to see, and Rory's last day was definitely awesome to see.
Yeah.
Rory, when it's all said and done, will at least win, I'm guessing, two Masters. I just don't know when.
He's still extremely young, so
extremely young. He's got a huge window to do it, and I think Tiger still might have a chance to win another Masters. He's in his 30s. I think he's like 34, 35. He's getting up there in his mid 30s, but. I think he's still got 3, 4 more very good tournaments. 39, I guess he is. So, hey, we all suck at numbers today, so it's all good. But like I said, no matter what, I still think he's got 4 or 5 quality years left in him.
I agree. I think he's the best player of all time, and I don't think he's going to go out without getting one more Masters. I mean, one more major at least in these last couple of years. He wants to get closer to Nicklaus's mark, not Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicklaus's mark, and I'd hope to see him come close to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. All right, Gabby.
All right, guys, we've reached the final days of the NBA regular season, and tonight could be the biggest night of the regular season with some teams fighting to get into the playoffs. Guys, what are some big final games coming up tonight or on the playoff season?
This is a very exciting day. This is the dead last day of the season, very last day for games, and it's remarkable how much is going to be decided after today. In both conferences, the 8th seed is going to be determined today. It's a battle between 2 teams in each conference, the Nets and the Pacers in the East, and the Pelicans and the Thunder in the West. The scenarios are a little bit different for each team, but we'll get into that in a minute. And there's a couple of seeding things that could shift around in the West, depending on some things, because there's about 3 or 4 teams in the middle there that are only about a game apart from each other. So if some things go a certain way, we could see the Spurs move up to the 2. We could see the Grizzlies jump back up to like the 3. I mean, there's many things we could see happen.
Yeah, the West was very close. One thing that I saw today is James Harden was leading the league in scoring for the longest time. But if Russell scores 30 points tonight, James Harden has to score 71 in order to regain the scoring title for this year. So
and obviously, Russell's got the easier task.
Russell's got the easiest task.
And they're playing the Timberwolves.
Yeah. However, I do have to say this. One thing is that I think it's kind of, I don't know what the correct word, right? We're kind of shady on the NBA's part. Russell Westbrook got teed up a couple games ago, or last game, and that was his 16th tech of the year. And if you get 16 techs, you're suspended automatically for that next game. And they went back after that game and repealed that tech. I don't see how you can repeal a foul in the previous game because one, it's referee discretion. But that's one huge for the Thunder because now they get at least one star player in this game because the Timberwolves are a decent team. If you let the Timberwolves in a game, they're going to win.
Exactly.
They have a very good chance of winning.
And you look at the Pelicans; they have to go into Memphis to play the Grizzlies, who, like
so the
I just
Pelicans
said,
already have a hard task. And now that the Thunder have Russell Westbrook, it's even harder for the Pelicans, even more pressure for the Pelicans because the Thunder have such a great shot. It is. If I was the Pelicans organization or I was somebody in the Pelicans fan, I would be extremely upset that happened.
Yeah, I agree. If I was a Pelicans fan, I'd be furious. But
you're not.
Since I'm not, and I'm just a fan of basketball, I'm glad to see it because it just makes it more exciting that Russell is going to be out there on the court to play. The Pelicans, however, while they do have the tougher task, they do control their own destiny. Yeah. If they win, they're in. Simple as that. And if the Thunder lose, the Pelicans are in. Simple as that. Yeah. But for the Thunder to get in, they have to win, and the Pelicans have to lose. Yep. But of course, looking at their opponents, that's not really
it's going to be
a difficult task.
It is going to be tough.
I'd say that the odds favor the Thunder right now.
Oh, I agree 100% because the Grizzlies need to win. Because if they want a good seed, they need to win.
Yeah, because they're in 6th place. They dropped all the way from 3rd to 6th in the course of a week because that's how close the West is.
Yeah.
And if they get this win and say, I don't know, the Rockets lose or the Clippers lose, they could jump up 3 spots.
They could get home
court, and that's a big difference because as of right now, they're going to be looking to go to San Antonio, the hottest team in the NBA, and you don't want to do that.
That's not fun
because that could be an early playoff exit for one of the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to see that. So that's going to be exciting. And then as for the East, it's a very similar story. The Pacers are in 8th right now, and the Nets are in 9th. If the Pacers win or the Nets lose, the Pacers
show and go by the big man. Kept it alive on the glass.
The Nets have to win, and the Pacers have to lose for the Nets to get in. But just like on the other side, the Pacers are playing. They're going to San Antonio. Yep. Wait, no, I'm thinking of the Pelicans.
You're right. Or no, you're thinking of the Pelicans.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go back. The Pacers are playing the Grizzlies tonight. The Pelicans are playing the Spurs.
Is that what you said
Clear
the first
that
time?
up. I completely mixed that up. Okay, sorry.
I was under the impression that they were playing the Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean that's right, but because we talked about that.
Yeah. Okay, so just to clear it up, the Pelicans are playing the Spurs tonight.
I didn't even catch
in
that.
San Antonio, and the Pacers are going to Memphis to play the Grizzlies. So that's that.
Yeah.
So the Pacers have to play the Grizzlies, who are battling for another win to move up in the playoff rankings, and the Nets get the Magic at home, who are pretty horrendous. So in both sides, the team that controls their own destiny has the much harder matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very interesting night, like you said, and it's awesome for NBA fans in general that Russell is playing because that makes it even more exciting. But I just don't like it because I think it sets a bad precedent for going in the future and everything like that. But yeah, you're right. This is one of the more fun last days of the season in NBA that I can remember for at least that I've been following NBA exclusively, or not exclusively, but intently. So I mean, it's shaping up to be a very fun night. I can't wait to check the scores after the show to see what's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, for someone that's not a casual fan of the NBA, I mean, the season's 82 games long.
Yeah.
So for this much to be left at stake after just one game left in the season, that proves how tight this season has been overall.
Yeah, definitely. Which team would you rather see? And obviously, you want the Thunder in. I'm guessing, right? Because I mean, just the star power that the Thunder have over the Pelicans.
Frankly, I would like the Thunder to get in, but like I said a while ago, well, Durant, I can't remember if there's a chance that he could be back.
I don't think
if they make it into the playoffs. I don't think there is. So actually, I would rather see the Pelicans in. And I was listening to a radio show earlier today that really made me think about this. And it's because we've seen the Thunder in the playoffs. We know how special Russell Westbrook is. But I'm excited about Anthony Davis. Him and the Pelicans are the future of the NBA, and I would love to see him get in there. And I honestly think that they could probably take the Warriors to 5, 6, 7 games.
I mean, anything's possible. I mean, NBA, during the regular season, the better team's usually always going to win. But when it gets to the playoffs, that's when people actually start trying.
Yeah, and so it shows that the level of talent on each team actually isn't that different once you get into the playoffs. It really isn't.
I mean, the best team still has the edge. But, I mean, it's not there won't be as many upsets, obviously, as March Madness because it's one and done in March Madness.
Yeah.
There's a 7-game series here. So obviously the better teams have the advantage no matter who they're playing. But like you said, I mean, I just want to see what Anthony Davis does in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Just like Kevin Love. I can't wait to see what Kevin Love's going to do on a very good team in the playoffs.
First time in the playoffs. And same thing with Kyrie Irving.
Oh, my gosh.
So many players that we haven't seen in the playoffs before.
Don't even get me started with Kyrie. I love it.
I know you're in love with Kyrie. The Cavs still riding strong right now, and I think that they're the team to beat in the East. The Hawks are obviously the 1 seed, but I am falling off on them a little bit just because of the way they've been playing. But they have been decimating the Nets all season, and the Nets have the favorable chance to get in as the 8 seed, who they'd be playing, the Hawks. So if the Nets get in, I think that the Hawks are going to coast. I'm a Nets fan, so this is hard to say, but I think that the Hawks are going to coast in that first-round series, probably 5 games, maybe even a sweep. But if the Pacers get in with Paul George back,
that would be fun.
I would watch out. I'd watch out. That being said, though, the Pacers have been putting, just like the Celtics, they've been putting everything out on the court these last couple weeks, and they might be a little bit burned. And I've liked the Celtics a lot these last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Right now, they're going to be, well, I guess they are going to play the Cavs.
They will,
in the first round.
Yeah, no matter what.
And I just kind of want to get your opinion on it. The Celtics, they beat the Cavs twice in about the last week or so. So does that have you worried at all as a Cavs fan?
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Because 3 guys, three reasons actually. LeBron didn't play.
Didn't play.
Kyrie,
that means everything. I didn't realize that he didn't play.
Didn't play.
Really?
Kevin Love, guess what? Didn't play.
In any of those games?
In one of the games. Okay.
I was going to say.
I was hoping you were going to ask that, but okay. I mean, am I nervous? A little bit, considering the fact that Cavs just haven't had that good of success. Honestly, though, I think they will beat the Celtics. I think who would we play after the Celtics? We'd play what? The Raptors?
You'd play the 3.
Wizards.
The 3. Which is the Bulls.
Which would be it's the Bulls, but
which a lot of people think is the second best team in the East. I don't believe that because Derrick Rose isn't Derrick Rose, and he's never going to be again. But
you never know.
I know, but
I want him to be.
I do too.
Everybody wants him to be.
I don't think he's going to be. Yeah. I like Derrick Rose. He was one of my favorite point guards, but I don't think he's ever going to be back to the way he was. I still think the Hawks are the second best team in the East.
Yeah, I don't know. That's another team I'm honestly looking forward to seeing in the playoffs. How Jeff Teague plays, how Paul Millsap plays, how Al Horford, Kyle Korver, DeMar Carroll. I mean, they got a pretty decent team up and down. I mean, you look at the roster. Obviously,
it's very deep.
They had a great year, very deep team, quality team. They made a push against the Pacers last year. That was a huge, fun series to watch.
They went to 7 games, and they might be playing the Pacers again with the seeds flipped.
That would be a cool story. That would be a cool story.
That would be cool.
But yeah, actually talking about the Pacers here, flipping side, going back to that. Do you think? I mean, they were the best team in the East last year.
Until the end of the season, where for some reason they collapsed, but they still finished the 1 seed.
No matter which, it's all subjective, really. I mean, they had the best record, but the Heat obviously were the best.
They were the best team. Yeah.
But if say a healthy Paul George, do you think a healthy Paul George from the beginning of the season? Where do you think the Pacers end up?
If he's healthy the whole season, I would have to put the Pacers at around the 4 seed. Just because, well, I'd probably put them at 3 because I think they'd have a better record than the Bulls since they haven't had Derrick Rose all season. But I don't think that they would have finished in front of the Hawks or the Cavs because the Cavs couldn't even finish in front of the Hawks. So for the same reason, I wouldn't put the Pacers in front of them. So in third place.
I think if the NBA commissioner hit the reset button, though, you wouldn't see the Hawks be number 1. If they hit the reset button and saying that the level you're playing at now, going down the list, that's how you start.
Agree.
Cavs are going to be 1. I think.
Frankly, I'd put the Celtics at 2.
mean,
because of the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, I see. After the Cavs, the Hawks are decent. Hawks are going to be a 3, Pacers 4, maybe depending on how Paul George would be. The Raptors are decent. The Celtics, I mean, they're playing all right, but I don't think they could do it in 82 games. I mean,
True.
You got to think about that. They've only been hot for a couple weeks now. I mean, same thing with the Nets. They've only been hot for
except for their last 2 games, which they lost pretty poorly, but against the Bulls and the Hawks. They did get very, very hot, and so that's the reason why they're still in the playoff push right now.
Yeah, I think the Hawks are a great team, don't get me wrong. I just think that if you hit the reset button, the Cavs, I mean, they've clicked so well. It's been, honestly, as a Cavs fan, it's been really fun to watch and everything. And personally, the Cavs-Spurs would be my finals of choice for 2 reasons. One, because it's the best player going against the best coach. And obviously, you and I both agree that Popovich is the best coach of all time. Very controversial and everything. But not only that, is in the very first, I can't even talk right now, I can't even think. The very first championship that that LeBron took the Cavs to was against the Spurs when they got swept in 2006.
Yes.
And if they can go back to the championship the very first year LeBron comes back and wins and beats the Spurs, I mean, that I just think, one, for a Cleveland fan, may not be as cool for other people, but as a Cleveland fan, I think that'd be kind of cool, just how the tables have turned.
Yeah, that would
now
be
that
cool,
LeBron comes
because
back.
if I'm correct, LeBron has played the Spurs twice in the finals.
3 times now.
3 times.
I believe 3 times, because he lost. He won the first time. He won the one 2 years ago. Remember, lost
With the
last
Heat.
year.
Yep,
and
lost
then
last year.
Got swept in 2006.
In the first time when he was still in the Cavs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember
So
Ray Allen hit that one that shot with like a minute left.
Yep.
When Popovich made the mistake of taking Tim Duncan out.
Yeah.
And they lost the rebound. Oh my gosh, I was so happy because the Heat were gonna lose. I was getting up and then I sat right back down. I was like, crap.
yeah. I think that would be a good story. I definitely think the Spurs are going to make the finals, and I definitely want them to make the finals. They've been kind of my favorite team to watch.
They're so much fun to
over the
watch.
course of the
So much
season,
fun to watch.
because they're so well coached and they're so disciplined, and
play
it's
so
just the
well.
way that you should play basketball. Yeah. It's not flashy or anything. They just get results, and I think they're going to edge out Golden State, like I've said over the past couple weeks.
Golden State would be so much fun to watch too. Like you look at the West. There's team after team. The one team I don't want to see in, the couple teams, is the Grizzlies. I don't want to see in because they just don't excite me.
I've fallen off a little bit on the Grizzlies. At the beginning of the season, they were my number 2 pick for the West, and they've just kind of fallen off a little bit. Another team I really am starting to not like is the Clippers.
Clippers?
Yeah, I don't know why. Just something about their gameplay. It just seems like they're squeaking by in games when, with that star power that they have, they should really be way better.
I know a lot of people think that they should be way better too, but if you look at the roster, I mean, Chris Paul can't shoot anymore for some reason. He won't shoot, and when he does, it doesn't go in. I mean, JJ Redick has played very well. He's had a very good season. Matt Barnes is decent. Would he start in the Cavs? No. Would he start in the Hawks? I don't think so. Would he start in Golden State? No. But he's a decent role player. I mean, then you look at Blake Griffin, who's their second, or arguably tied for first, second star with Chris Paul. What does Blake Griffin do? I mean, that's good. That's good for a team other than dunk, because that's what he's known for. He's good for dunking.
And he's not been the explosive scorer that he has been recently. He used to be just a stat monger, and now he's kind of like Kevin Love was, but now he's kind of quieting.
I
don't know where it's coming from.
Personally, Kevin Love I would rather have Kevin Love than Blake Griffin, because Kevin Love, I think, just does a little more. Blake Griffin's a little bit better defensively, but Kevin Love can step out and shoot. He can post up. Blake obviously can post up, but Blake can't shoot the ball that well. I mean, they both can rebound excellent. And then you look at DeAndre Jordan, who I think has been one of the most underrated players in the NBA.
Oh, he's very special.
With what he does.
He's a very great player.
If he could shoot free throws, he would be the best center in the NBA.
Why can't NBA players make their free throws?
I don't know, man. Well, when your hand's as big and the ball goes right here.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And you can make a fist around a ball. I don't know.
Yeah.
You just can't. He can't shoot free throws. It'd be if he could shoot free throws and get that up to 55, 60%, or 60, 65%. He would be honestly one of the best players in the NBA, top 10 player in my opinion, because just how dominant he is. I mean, you see him going off for 20, 25 plus rebound nights like it's nothing. I mean, it's very impressive watching him play. He doesn't do anything flashy either. He's kind of like Blake Griffin on steroids. If Blake Griffin was like Blake Griffin's a big boy. Okay, I'm not going to use that expression, but if Blake Griffin was like 3-4 inches taller, okay, he would be a true center. Blake Griffin would be an awesome center, but because he's like a 4, he doesn't really do anything that other fours can't do. You know
True.
what I'm saying? So that's why I think Blake Griffin's a little bit overrated for me.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I think the Clippers, they're sitting at second right now, I want to say.
No.
Or the Rockets in second still?
Rockets are in second. Clippers are like 6th or 5th.
Okay,
Seventh, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think the Clippers are going to get their first round win. There's a lot of teams I've been looking at recently that have played great over the season, but I think are going to get beat in the first round. The Raptors, I think they're going to lose their first round matchup. They're currently the 4, and they're going to play the Wizards. And I don't think that they're going to win their series.
That's a toss-up because, like, if you go back to the beginning of the year, Raptors were the 2 seed, Wizards were the 3 seed for the longest time. Wizards are awful now.
Yeah, but I don't like what the Raptors are doing
awful,
recently.
too.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I guess, a good series in the fact that they're both going to be awful.
And I mean, the Hawks are getting a luck of the draw there because those teams, I mean, 6 through 8 are playing better than 4 and 5 right now in the East.
Yeah.
So,
That's because they have to, though. I mean, you have to kind of put it in
true.
retrospect there too. I mean, the NBA playoffs is where stars shine. I mean, So hopefully John Wall can come out of his shell. Bradley Beal can be the potential guy that we all thought he was going to be at. He didn't have that good a season this year. Kyle Lowry, I mean, he's an underrated point guard. I don't know. They got some stars on those teams, but you're right. I mean, they haven't been playing well for the last couple of months.
Yeah, and
They've kind of been in cruise control.
Since the West is so stacked and so close, there's not really a lot of upsets that can be called in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Any
mean,
team can beat anybody.
we can't really talk much about the seedings right now because after today, it could be completely changed because of how close it is.
In the West, I mean, East we're set. Except for the.
Except for the 8.
Except for the 8, yeah.
I mean, let's just take a look at the top down in the East. Hawks, I think that they'll beat whoever they play. Pacers or Nets, I think they're going to win. Cavs, I think they win.
Yep.
But I think it is closer than you think. I think it's going to go to maybe 5 or 6, and not a sweep. Who's the 3 then? Bulls?
Yep.
Bulls are playing the Bucks, who you shouldn't sleep on the Bucks because they're actually pretty good. They are probably the best coached team in the East, I dare to say, with Jason Kidd.
That's not too far off to say.
Yeah, because the East has almost no coaching. I mean, the Hawks, that's probably one of the better coaching teams, and then honestly, probably the best coach in the East is probably Lionel Hollins on the Nets, and the Nets aren't even that good.
Well, I mean, look at the Nets have, though. Nets are just overrated. Darren Williams is overrated. I mean, they got rid of Kevin Garnett, but Kevin Garnett was overrated on the Nets.
Yeah, well, and he was getting paid $12 million. Hopefully this year, the only net that I think is really crucial to the team structure is Brook Lopez.
And Plumlee.
Oh, Plumlee. Well, I was talking about the big 3.
Okay.
The paycheck guys.
Yes.
For those that don't know, the Nets have the highest paid big 3 in the NBA, which is pretty ridiculous when you look at some other teams, like the Cavs.
I bet you not many people knew that either.
And probably not many people can even name the big 3 on the Nets. Yeah. I mean, Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, Brook Lopez. A lot of people probably don't even know who Brook Lopez is still, even though he's a stud. But getting back to the matter at hand.
He gets injured. He's out.
He does get injured a lot. Bulls, I still think that they're going to handle the
Bucks?
The Bucks. And then, like I said, I think the Wizards are going to beat the Raptors.
I think it'd be fun to see the Bucks pull off a win here.
Yeah, if they had... Do they have Jabari Parker or Andrew Wiggins?
Jabari Parker.
They have Jabari Parker. Yeah, if he was still playing, first of all, I think they would finish higher. They probably would have finished 4th. But if he was still playing, I'd pick them to upset the Bulls.
That's interesting. I agree. I think the Hawks win, the Cavs win. I don't know. Bucks and Bulls is a toss-up to me. I think the Raptors are a better team than the Wizards. Like I said, but I think that one's going to go to 6-7 games, and then
definitely 7. I'd say 7.
Yeah, and then in the West, assuming that it stays where it is right now, I think the Golden State obviously is going to win their first game. They'll play.
If they play the Thunder, I think they coast. If they play with the Pelicans, I say it goes to about 6. I say it's going to be close. Yeah.
Who's gonna? Look at the matchup there. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson against Drew Holiday and Eric Gordon.
Yeah, and I mean Drew Holiday and Eric Gordon are great guards. I mean they're not Klay Thompson and
they're not. Yeah.
And Steph Curry.
The thing that scares me about Golden State though is a team that relies strictly on 3-point shooting. That live and die by 3-point shooting. They've been awesome all year long and everything. But it just takes a couple games for those for a couple 3-pointers not to fall, and then they're gonna slip.
Yeah.
So they have to have their best games every single game in order for them to be good.
And one of the reasons I like the Pelicans is because you were just mentioning who's going to guard Steph and Klay. Who's going to guard Anthony Davis? And the answer is nobody, because nobody in the NBA can guard him.
Yeah.
He's probably the most difficult matchup to account for in the entire league. So any team that they play in the first round, well, they're going to play
LeBron too.
the Warriors. Yeah, LeBron too. But since that the league is at time to kind of adjust to the LeBron era.
I think honestly, Kawhi is the only guy.
Kawhi is one of the best defenders in the NBA, and he can guard LeBron as he did.
That's another thing why
last
I
year in
love
the finals.
the LeBron Spurs matchup. I mean, they're just one, it's huge. I mean, but two, it's just fun to watch. Yeah, I agree though. I mean, I'm sitting here trying to think who can guard Anthony Davis. Guard as in like shut him down. Like Kawhi has the potential and can shut LeBron down as much as you can shut LeBron down.
As much as, and which is probably double figures still.
I just don't see. David Lee won't be able to. Bogut won't be able to. They're not nearly as fast.
No way.
I mean, Dwight Howard maybe. I mean, Dwight Howard is athletic, but
yeah, but he's not as athletic as Anthony Davis.
And he's soft too.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Davis is a scary dude. He's scary looking and he's pretty scary. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I so bad want the Pelicans to get in, but the Thunder with Russell Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook plays just high intensity every single game. It's fun to watch for most. It's annoying for others, who are the fans of the teams that he's beating half the time. But I just don't see. I don't want the Thunder to win because I don't think they're going to get knocked out in the first round.
They'll get swept.
They're just not a good team. Russell does not make them a good team.
And I was kind of happy to see, I don't know if you saw this, Westbrook, I don't know if he tweeted it or what he said, that he said that getting to the playoffs for him is more important than the scoring title, which is good. I mean, he might just be saying that because that's what the fans would want to hear. But
is it though? I mean, honestly, you look at Russell in games. It's not like he's being selfish and just blatantly passing other people up. He's out there shooting and scoring because one, he knows he's the only guy that can shoot and score on the team.
He has to do it.
I mean, he's not going to let Serge. I mean, I know Serge Ibaka's three-point shot has gotten a little better, but I still wouldn't let him take over the team. He can't. Well, first of all, he can't take over the team.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can take that team, but other than Russell.
I mean, he had 46 shots the other day, and he's asked about that after the game in a press conference, and he said that he doesn't care how many shots he doesn't take or he takes. He doesn't care anything about that and his teammates don't care. So as long as his teammates don't care and he's winning, which they didn't win that game, but he's fine with it and he doesn't care.
Unfortunately, though, he's looking like a college player that has to do everything for his team, like a Doug McDermott or a Kemba Walker, where they just have to shoot 30, 40 times a game just for their team to even have a chance. And that's why. Well, Kemba Walker was a bad example. Because they actually had a good team that year. I should have mentioned Shabazz Napier, but which they also won. But it's just. But they again in college you only play 1-game series. In the NBA you have 7-game series. I don't think Russell's gonna be able to keep that up against the blistering Warriors with how they score. I mean, he's going to have to make 3 threes for every time that the Warriors get the ball if they want to keep up. So I just don't think he has a chance. But it would be cool if Russell got the scoring title because then the scoring title will stay in Oklahoma City, but with a different player.
Yeah.
And Oklahoma City's had the scoring title for, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
Since Durant has been in the league.
Real quick, I'm gonna stop it right. Stop that combo right here. Still on NBA and everything. I just got this update here. The Pelicans are beating the Spurs 41-21, 10 minutes left in the second quarter.
41-21.
41-21.
Up 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pelicans came into play.
So if the Pelicans win, they're in. Simple as that.
Yeah, big game.
That is surprising to me, but of course, a 20-point lead in the NBA against a team like the Spurs isn't a 20-point lead in college. So you can't count the Spurs out yet, and it's only in the second quarter. But that's interesting.
I mean, just the fact that it's a 20-point lead,
yeah.
41-21, that's...
I think that game will be over before the Thunder game even starts. So
that's going to kind of suck for the Thunder.
That will.
I bet you they're watching this game.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. And
upset.
if the Pelicans win, I mean, if you're Russell, just shoot 60 times, get the scoring title, and
all he needs is 30.
Go take your summer off.
I mean, he doesn't even need that. He doesn't even need that many points. I mean,
30,
for postseason
Russell Westbrook.
If he scores 30, James Harden has to score 71.
Which isn't happening.
So I think no matter what, Russell's going to have the scoring title and everything like that. But yeah, big news coming out of San Antonio there.
That is big news. That just proves how exciting this day is going to be, and I'm really looking forward to.
I'm going to stop you again here. I'm going to stop you again. The Thunder are beating the Timberwolves right now, 49-29, 11 minutes left in the second.
They're both up by 20 points. Okay. But it doesn't matter what the Thunder do.
Live TV doesn't get any better than this.
It doesn't matter what the Thunder do because if the Pelicans win, it's over. Capiche?
But still, I mean, just the fact, I mean, they came into
That's
play.
showing how much they're playing, though.
And that also makes us look like idiots because the Thunder aren't watching this game they're playing right now. But,
Obviously.
guys on the bench have
But that's
their cell
exciting.
phones
I mean,
out
I
watching.
guarantee you that the Pacers Grizzlies game and the Nets Magic game won't be that exciting.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
the
don't think
East,
they
too.
are. Well, it's the
It's the
East,
I could
which
care. I mean, honestly, I want Paul George in there, but I don't care.
Eastern Conference fans will get used to a slower style of play. Slower because it's worse.
And a lot of missed shots.
A lot of missed shots. Final note here, I guess, going to be a short show tonight. Just, you probably already mentioned it, just who you taking in those 2-8 spots?
2-8 spots, I want Pacers, and I'm taking Pelicans.
And I'm going, is that who you want or you think?
That's what I want, and I think.
Okay.
I get what I want. I think I get what I want. I think.
All right, well, I'm sticking with the Pelicans. I was going to go with the Thunder, but now with that score update, I got to go with the Pelicans. I think that they're
that's
going
big.
to tough it out and win. And then in the East, I got to stick with the Nets. Not just because I'm a fan, but because they play the Magic at home, who the Magic are just terrible. And then, the Pacers have to go to Memphis. So, I mean, I was saying the same thing a couple minutes ago about
Big night, like we
about
said at the
Oklahoma
beginning of the
City.
show before any of these games started. Big night, fun night to watch. If you're watching at home, stop watching this show and go watch those games. Gabs?
But thank you for watching.
All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. Tune in to our last show of the semester next Wednesday at 8. Thanks, guys.